So hi all, welcome to the YouTube channel Mechanical Engineer. So today we are going to start a new series which is gas. Gas is commonly referred as natural gas. So natural gas is a naturally occurring gaseous hydrocarbon. It consists of basically methane, which is the simplest hydrocarbon with the traces of ethane, propane and butane. So basically natural gas is an odorless, colorless and lighter than air and it produces very less emissions and it is considered as one of the most cleanest fossil fuel because of the clean burning qualities. So basically, what is the use of a natural gas? Natural gas is used for the power generation and also as a feedstock for the fertilizer plant and the fuel for the industrial use. It is also used for heating, hot water, cooking, outside living, and it becomes a fuel of choice in domestic and the commercial sectors. So what are its effect of natural gas on the environment? So as I mentioned, natural gas is considered as one of the most cleanest of burning fossil fuel, and this is because of the complete combustion which occurs on the combustion of natural gas. The amount of greenhouse gas released from the natural gas is significantly lower than the emission from the wood, coal, and oil. So this is the main reason why natural gas is widely used in nowadays. So basically, what is the difference between the natural gas and the LPG? LPG, as you all know, we use in our household for the cooking purposes. So natural gas is basically a gaseous form, but the LPG which we get in our home is in liquid form. So the storage and the transportation of natural gas is very required a very greater infrastructure, whereas LPG can be stored in a very smaller infrastructure, and we can store, as you can see, in our household purposes, we use the LPG cylinders from 5 kg to 14 kg, and it can be easily be transported in our truck. So therefore, the LPG is available even in our rural areas. And it is very important to note that LPG produce greater heat due to the higher calorific value. Calorific value of the LPG is greater than the natural gas, and we'll be covering that. So basically, how a natural gas is stored. So natural gas can be stored in different ways. It can be stored underground, and natural gas is also stored as LNG. LNG is the liquefied natural gas, and this is done after it is liquefied, and uh, and it can be also stored in the above ground storage tank and also stored in the pipeline temporarily. So basically, as I covered in our previous slide, that LNG. The LNG is the liquefied form of natural gas. So when the natural gas is cooled to minus 161 degrees Celsius, it becomes clear, odorless liquid. And LNG is neither corrosive nor toxic. The natural gas is primarily methane with a low concentration of hydrocarbon, water, carbon dioxide, nitrogen, oxygen, and some sulfur compound. So during the process of liquefaction, the natural gas is cooled below its boiling point and removing most of these compounds. So it's the purest form of natural gas. So the remaining natural gas is primarily methane with a small amount of other hydrocarbons. The LNG is weight very less and it is half the weight of water so that it can float if it's spilled on the water. So LNG is the countries which produce most of the LNG in the world are Algeria, Australia, then we have Qatar, Oman, Nigeria, Malaysia, Libya, and India is also India is procuring most of its LNG from these countries. So LNG is basically transported in the double hulled ships specifically designed to handle the low temperature of LNG. So these carriers are insulated to limit the amount of LNG that boils off or evaporates. So this boil off gas is sometimes used to supplement fuel for the carrier. So LNG carriers are up to 1,000 feet long and require a minimum water depth of 40 feet. When the LNG is received at the terminals, it is transported to the insulated storage tanks that are specifically designed to hold this LNG. And these tanks can be found above or below the ground. And these are then the liquid is kept at the lower temperature to minimize the amount of evaporation. If LNG vapors are not released, then the pressure and temperature within the tank will continue to rise. So this shows the purpose of keeping the LNG at the lower temperature because it can pose a severe safety risk if LNG temperatures are not controlled. Then the pressure and the temperature can rise, which can lead to some safety incident. The LNG is characterized as cryogen and the liquefied gas kept in it in the liquid state at a very low temperature. The purpose, the temperature within the tank should remain constant if pressure is not kept constant and allowing it to boil out gas to escape from the tank. This is known as auto refrigeration. The boil off gas is collected and used as a fuel source in the facility or the tanker transporting it. So whenever the gas is needed, this LNG is warmed and to a point where it converts back into gaseous state. This is accomplished using the regasification process, which involves the use of. So LNG, how it is LNG is used, as we covered in previous slide. Basically, it is warmed whenever it is required. The LNG is warmed to make a gaseous form and is used like a natural gas in power generation, feedstock for the fertilizer plant, fuel for the industrial uses, heating and cooking, as well as the other industrial uses. Basically, why use LNG? LNG, since it is in liquid form, it occupies only a fraction of 100 by 600 of the volume of natural gas, and it takes a very less space, and this makes it very economical to transport across the large distances and can be used in large quantities. The LNG is very price competitive source of energy, and they could meet future economical needs in India as well as many foreign countries. So LNG, is it flammable? So it depends. When the LNG comes in contact with the warmer air, it becomes a visible vapor cloud. And as it gets warmer, the vapor cloud becomes lighter than the air and rises. So when the LNG mixes with the air, it is only flammable within the 5 to 15% of the natural gas in the air, which is less than this is not enough to burn. So if you, as it is mentioned that within the concentration of 5 to 15% in the air, it has a possibility to burn. And if it is less than 5% or more than 15%, there won't be any enough oxygen to burn it. Today we have covered the natural gas and the LNG. In our next video, we will be covering more about CNG, LPG, and the PNG. Thank you for watching.